many countries are taking into action. More particularly, Kenya government has proposed to have international conference on blue economy, and it will be in November the year 2020. President Kenyatta has mentioned it, and he gave forward 800 million Kenya shillings, and Canada supported by giving 200 million Canadian dollars towards this particular international conference.
Okay. So we know that countries are behind, supporting your work or the work of others like you, and making the right steps. So, taking those right steps. So, what now? What's the timeline? I mean, we need to make change, right? People need to make change in order to at least slow the global warming, or potential. Is it, maybe it's not even possible to reverse it, but is it possible to reverse? Are we aiming to slow it? What should people do?
I think it's under Tokyo Convention, many countries signed, and this is where we find the United States did not sign. And at present, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is against climate change. He says there's no climate change. And what we know, Donald Trump has a golf beach in Ireland, and a quarter of it has been taken by the ocean. It means there is a sea rise. If he himself cannot see that in his own gold beach, it has been taken by the sea, then he has closed the eyes. And it's a political move that he's making up. And countries signed under COP21 that by the year 2020, all countries must have signed the protocol so that developed countries can reduce affecting climate change. What's happening now, poor countries like developed countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, they are being affected on what has been done by the developed countries. And this is what we are against about. We need developed countries to take the lead to reduce the emissions that they are carrying out now. Japan, European Union countries, United States, Canada, all these
China
countries.
too, maybe?
And China, they're doing a lot of damage to the climate.
So when you say the issues that these developing nations or third world countries are suffering, we're talking about weather issues like tsunamis, increased tsunamis, or and of course those are major events. I mean, they're costing thousands of lives, and each event when you get into Indonesia or places like that. So by 2020 they must sign, but how much time, you're the authority, and it's not often that people get to sit down and talk about this with someone like yourself, especially with your accolades. So how much time do we have before, the oceans are going to rise and there's really not much we can do about that? Or have we already gotten to that point?
We don't have much time. What's happening is if the temperature rises by 2 degrees Celsius, many countries are going to be affected. There will be many floods, there will be a lot of drought, and there will be a lot of famine, there will be a lot of diseases. So it is an urgent issue. We don't have much time, and we have only one life to live. Nobody can say that he has 2 or 3 lives to live. Once you die, you're gone. And ours, we have to see what world are we giving to our children and the children of our children. So
Right.
It's important that even if you as a person, you as a student, you as a farmer, you as an ordinary person, you have a say on climate change. You need to make noise to the politicians, to those who make decisions, to those who are in industry, because they have the money, they have the industry, they are polluting, and they are affecting climate. So all of us, if we can be activists, students to take the lead, and then farmers also to be involved. For one, I have an idea about planting bamboo trees.
Okay.
Bamboo, it captures about 4 times more carbon dioxide than any plant on Earth. And so my idea is to plant bamboo around equator. And when that is done, it means that the countries that are around equator are poor countries. And that's why we need assistance to make sure that we plant millions and millions of trees, of bamboo trees. And when we do that, bamboo will capture a lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And then developed countries, of course, they are polluting, they are producing a lot of emissions. But in Africa, if we can continue to produce, to plant more trees, then the trees will capture carbon. It will be like a sink where carbon dioxide will be absorbed.
Very nice. Well, that's new to me,
Yeah.
and I'm sure new to nearly everybody watching as well. So, 2 degrees Celsius more, and then we have even more troubles than we have right now.
Yeah.
How far away are we from 2 degrees more in a rise in our temperature?
Now,
Is that 2025, or is it hard to know?
by the year 2050, we will, if we are not going to do any change, then we'll be mostly affected. All countries in the world
Yeah.
will be affected.
Yeah. So we really only have about 30 years or so left to
Correct.
go.
Yeah.
Little margin for error built in there
Correct.
before it's really irreversible, or at least we have to deal with some much bigger issues at the time. Maybe it's potentially still reversible, but we're going to have a lot of mess to clean up in the process.
Correct.
And we don't leave the planet the way we found it necessarily, as you said, for kids or grandkids or great grandkids.
Yeah.
So, it's a very interesting topic, study of biology, climate change. He knows what he's talking about, as we did in the introduction here, with just the accolades you have. Professor in Mombasa at the university, Mombasa, Kenya. Couple of fun questions too, just lighthearted. What's your favorite food anywhere? It doesn't even have to be just Kenya, because I know you've traveled.
Yeah. My favorite food is rice and chicken.
Rice and chicken,
Yeah.
which is a delicacy here too in Kenya. Everything has chicken, it seems like, when I'm in Kenya.
Correct.
Do you like the chicken here better than other parts of the world?
Oh yes. What happens here in Kenya? We have chicken that is grown locally.
Yeah.
They feed
Free range.
Free range.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. The meat is soft. But in other parts of the world, they have this GMO, organic. They don't grow organic chicken,
Yeah.
and they don't taste well. They're like plastic. You don't enjoy the meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We had dinner before the interview, and we both had chicken, and I can attest to the fact that that is true. And then being in Kenya and, coming from Kenya, what do you, one more fun question, do you prefer to walk places or drive places?
I've not understood your question.
Oh, do you prefer to walk or drive?
Oh, me personally.
Walking?
Yeah, because what happens now, traffic congestion is too much. It takes about 3 hours to drive from Twapa to Mombasa, and that's a place where you can drive. Normally, we used to take about 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but now it takes 3 to 4 hours through the traffic. Traffic congestion is too much, and then when you go through it in the evening, you have headache. It means you are breathing in the heavy metals, lead.
The same
zinc.
thing that's causing the problems we just talked about.
That's right.
Yeah, Nairobi's got a lot of that going on there too, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is about plastics. In the
Oh, okay.
ocean, we have, like we had International Weather Day, Environmental Day recently, and the Kenya government has banned all plastics. We don't have plastics here. Previously, we used to produce over 100 million plastics in a year, but now it has gone to zero. And this is an urgent call to all countries in the world to stop producing plastics.
Yeah.
That is, we have to be conscious of our ocean. We need to protect the ocean. We have only one Earth. We need
Yeah.
to protect Mother Nature.
And that, you know, I know a lot of countries have started to do that. Hopefully, more follow suit, like you said. Um, this has been exciting. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to talk to us and tell us a little bit about what's important to you and important to the world. So, again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
And I wish you a safe journey and
yeah.
many greetings and the success to your profession and your students.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. Hey, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Professor Ezekiel Okemwa, what a blast to have dinner with him tonight and then have a chance to talk about some serious topics. So, we'll catch you on the other side.